Council meeting is now called to order. Ms. Capriola, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Balthus,
Here.
Mr. Brohart,
Here.
Mr. Gorbach, Mr. Ayula.
Here.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm on my iPad. I couldn't find the mute button.
Well, there you go. Okay. Mr. James,
Here.
Ms. Loza,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Ms. Nichols Rhodes,
Here.
Mrs. Penta,
Here.
Mrs. Spinner,
Here.
Mr. Stams.
Here.
Thank you. Everyone is in attendance, all 11. We will now have the invocation by Mrs. Spinner.
Thank you. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity for us to meet here today and serve our community. Please bless all those in attendance, their family and friends. And thank you again for allowing us to do your work. Amen.
Amen. And we will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
for all. All righty, we have the minutes. We have 5 sets of minutes from the December 28th Committee of the Whole, the December 28th, 2000 regular council meeting, the January 4th, 2021 organizational meeting, the January 4th Committee on Committees, and the January 11th regular council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, they will stand as written. Ms. Capriola, do we have any petitions or readings, claims, or anything?
No, Mr. President.
Okay. And now we'll have introduction of new ordinances and resolutions.
Temporary Ordinance B1, presented by the administration upon recommendation of the Planning Commission. An ordinance authorizing and approving the preliminary subdivision plat for the ledges at Pine Ridge on parcel 37-00221, 5008 State Road, and declaring an emergency.
Planning and zoning, Mrs. Spinner.
Temporary Ordinance B2, presented by the administration. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into a contract or contracts according to law for the demolition of structures located at 121 May Avenue within the city and removal of demolition debris and certifying the cost thereof to the county fiscal officer for collection in the manner provided by law and declaring an emergency.
Finance and appropriations, Mr. Gorbach.
Temporary Ordinance B3, presented by the administration upon recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Board. An ordinance authorizing the Parks and Recreation Board to enter into a contract or contracts according to law for repairs to the pavilion located at 2085 Front Street and declaring an emergency.
Finance and appropriations, Mr. Gorbach.
Temporary Ordinance B4, presented by the administration upon recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Board. An ordinance authorizing the Parks and Recreation Board to enter into a contract or contracts according to law for the Waterworks Family Aquatic Center roof replacement project and declaring an emergency.
Finance and appropriations, Mr. Gorbach.
Temporary Ordinance B5, presented by the administration. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into a contract or contracts according to law for the annual resurfacing and or repair of various streets as described in Exhibit A attached hereto in the city of Cuyahoga Falls and declaring an emergency.
Public and industrial improvements, Ms. Nichols Rhodes.
Temporary Ordinance B6, presented by the administration. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into the Summit County Service Department Response Network Mutual Aid Agreement with various political subdivisions within Summit County and declaring an emergency.
Public Affairs, Mr. Balthus.
Temporary Ordinance B7, presented by the administration. An ordinance implementing sections 3735.65 through 3735.70 of the Ohio Revised Code, establishing and describing the boundaries of the Portage Trail Midtown Community Reinvestment Area in the city of Cuyahoga Falls and declaring an emergency.
Community Development, Mrs. Penta. Okay, thank you. We have no public hearings tonight and no report of special committee, and there are no reports of any council standing committee. So we will have the schedule of our next meeting, which should be February the 1st, 2021. Planning and Zoning, Mrs. Spinner.
Mr. President, Planning and Zoning Committee will meet at 6:30 on Monday, February 1st. And also we'll have our public hearing as related to temporary ordinance A110.
Thank you. Finance and Appropriations, Mr. Gorbach.
Yes, Mr. President, 6:35 on February 1st we'll meet.
Okay, thank you. Public and Industrial Improvements, Ms. Nichols Rhodes.
Mr. President, Public and Industrial Improvements will meet at 6:40 PM on February 1st.
Thank you. Public Affairs, Mr. Balthus.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Affairs Committee will meet at 6:45 on February 1st.
Thank you. And Community Development, Mrs. Penta.
We will meet February 1st at 6:50.
Thank you. Do we have any miscellaneous business to come before council?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.